Is day 5 of the Limiting Beliefs Masterclass Series. And tonight I am going to be giving you 2 ways that you can release and transform negative limiting beliefs. Throughout the other days in this masterclass series, we have talked about what are limiting beliefs, where do they come from, how do they impact us. I helped you navigate different areas of your life and identifying and discovering your limiting beliefs in a variety of areas, including self-esteem, confidence, your abilities to create security for yourself, finances, money, love, relationships, your ability to give love and receive love. So we've talked about quite a lot. We've covered a lot of ground. And hopefully you have done all of the homework and the self-exploration exercises. Hopefully you have your workbook, because if you've done all that, then you are well prepared for the activities that we are going to go through today. You want to make sure that you review everything that you have done thus far and come with a limiting belief today that you wish to work with, okay? So let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up the workshop on my computer so I can see comments as they are rolling in. And I'm also going to pull up my workbook and my notes. Make sure that you have your workbook. You can grab it today for $15.15. It will go up to $22.22 next week. And last week it was $11.11. It contains all of our daily reading material, activities, exercises, all of the self-exploration prompts, links to guided meditations, and all of the resources that we are really using to go through the entire Limiting Beliefs Masterclass series. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in housekeeping, but allow me just a moment to get set up. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful evening. I have my tea ready to go. Hopefully you have some tea with you as well. My laptop is moving pretty slow. Okay, so I got that pulled up. I have the workbook pulled up, and let me tell you what page we are on in the workbook. Actually, I thought I had it. Here it goes. What happened? Hello, 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 everybody. Hope you all are doing well. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. In the meantime, in between time, can I get housekeeping? I see I just have one person in here, but I want to make sure that you can hear me and see me okay. So if you can hear me okay and see me okay, just go ahead and drop me a housekeeping in the comment section. That's really going to help me out to let me know I do not have any technical difficulties or issues. Let me pull up the notes. Perfect, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and jump on into housekeeping just so that we can keep this thing rolling. Housekeeping item number 1 is always going to be interaction. As I'm going through the content and the information this evening, please feel free to interact with me. Even if you are watching this workshop after it is live, you can still leave your comments in the comment section, or if you have any questions, you can leave those down there as well, and I will make sure that I get to those and answer them for you. You have your workbook and the sound is perfect. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate it. Housekeeping item number 2 is going to be sharing is caring. If you find tonight's content and information valuable, please share this video with a friend, family member, loved one. As we are here on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notifications on all future videos. You can feel free to follow me over on Instagram. I do a lot of work there as well, and I go live a lot more often over there. So if you're catching this on YouTube, make sure that you follow me at Higher Alignment on Instagram as well. My third housekeeping item is going to be my text list. I do send out notifications 10 to 15 minutes before I go live. That way you don't miss anything. I also send out discounts, promotions, free activities, free exercises. So if you want to join my text list, what you're going to do is text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. One more time, you're going to text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979, okay? The freebie for this evening is in my Easy Tree. It is actually a an exercise that you can use to release your negative limiting beliefs. We're going to go over a different one. So if you have the workbook, if you're here live, and if you have that freebie exercise, or if you have that freebie exercise, you should be set up in any way to do some type of work. So once again, hopefully you have watched the other videos in this series. Here on YouTube, you have days 1 and days 2 that are available for the replay, and then you'll have this one this is day 5, so days 3, 4, and 6 are going to be inside of the actual masterclass series. Okay, so that brings me to the next housekeeping item. I'm going to put the link for all of the resources I'm going to put the links for the resources in the caption section, in the description box. So the workbook, you can grab that this evening for $15.15. All of my workbooks right now are $22.22. Last week, the workbook was for $11.11. So I always try to offer some discount or some promotion while I'm actually going through the content. I never want money to be a reason why people can't engage with these activities, or you can't do your personal development work the way you want to, okay? The workbook is going to contain all of our daily reading materials, the activities, exercises, journaling prompts, links to guided meditations, all of that good stuff. So go ahead and grab that. And then you have the Masterclass Series, which is going to contain all of the replays, all of the recorded content, the previous year's content. Is going to contain the workbook as well. So no, you do not have to purchase that separately. And occasionally I go through my courses, I update them, I include new resources, I put in new links. I may add in workshops from other masterclass series that I feel like will benefit, and improve the content in the series that you have. So if you have access to the actual masterclass series, then you're going to get a lot more. And you can grab that today for $44.44. Next week, it will go up to $55.55. And then once we're no longer talking about this at all, it's going to go back up to $88.88. So go ahead and grab that for the low, okay? My last housekeeping item is going to be the live sale August 13th at noon Eastern. So that's this Saturday that's coming up. I am going to be live on Instagram. I'm going to have floral wrap sage. I'm going to have hand rolled incense. I'm going to have some crystal jewelry. I'm going to have some nice deals for you. So you want to make sure that you pull up on me, especially if you like those types of handcrafted metaphysical tools. And I'm going to have exactly what you need. And I am also going to be opening up my customs only during the live sale though. So the way that will work is if I have something, if I don't have what you're looking for, you are looking for something custom, then you can tell me the crystal that you want. I will show you what crystals I have. If I have that crystal, I do have a lot of them. And then you can let me know what form of jewelry you want it in, and I will be taking orders for customs only during the live sale. Okay, I don't care for customs, but I'm gonna do them just for a select few, just for that that come in during that time period. So make sure you're there. Okay, it's gonna be fun. Join me on Instagram Live. And that's all that I have for us. So let's go ahead and jump into the content. Let me go ahead and pull my notes up, and let me tell you in the workbook where we are. Scrolling, it's a lot of scrolling because we are far down in it, y'all. Okay, so what I want you to do is go ahead and turn to page 18. Go ahead and turn to page 18 in the workbook, and I'm just going to read a little bit on it, expand how I normally do, and I'm going to take us through some activities and some exercises. Congratulations, you've made it to day 5. In days 1 through 4, we have explored the nature of thoughts and beliefs, where limiting beliefs come from, and the impact of limiting beliefs upon our lives and experiences. You have done the tough work of doing some personal exploration in your own limiting beliefs and your life experiences that created and supported those beliefs. It may have been hard or even very triggering for you, but your work is not in vain. Today, you are ready to create a shift in your mindset, your thoughts, beliefs, and ultimately your behavior so that you can align yourself with harmony and harmonious conditions as you move forward through life. It is important to note that all of this work is a continuous process. These exercises are designed for you to do the work to begin to shift your mindset, but it may not instantly happen the first time. Continue to analyze your beliefs and your behaviors, holding them against your intention of creating a harmonious and balanced life. When you see that you are not creating harmony in your life and that you do not experience well being, go back and look again. Find what limiting beliefs and patterns of behavior are contributing to your unease. Then continue to do the work until you align yourself with that harmony and well being. And that's just, hopefully it's self-explanatory and really, you understood from what I just read. This work is a continual process. And even when you're doing it from the beginning, you really want to make sure you're doing things like this day after day. This is not the type of thing, it's not like you just take a magic pill and everything becomes butterflies and peaches and cream and rainbows and sprinkles, and just, everything is just wonderful after you do it just this one time. The thing is, remember, beliefs come from thoughts that we think repetitively, and we engage in those thoughts repetitively. So just like the beliefs didn't develop overnight, they're not going to undevelop. You're not going to be able to unlearn them overnight. Unlearning and doing this is a repetitive process, and you may need to constantly remind yourself, okay, I'm not saying that anymore, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm doing something different. So just, you be kind, be gentle with yourself as you move through this. Sorry, Tiffany, I saw your comment. Okay, a pill would help. It would, Tiffany. So the first thing that I want to talk about is meditation and stillness. So let me come to my notes. So in the workbook, you can read a little bit about meditation and stillness, but I'm going to just comment on it, just do some auto commentary, if you will. So meditation, the type of meditation that I advise that you all engage in here is called mindfulness meditation. And if you are not familiar with mindfulness meditation, then go ahead and check out the mindfulness meditation playlist, the series here on my YouTube channel, because I go through what is mindfulness meditation. I teach you the overview of different techniques and different approaches, and then every other video is actually the guided practice. So you can go through the guided practices, you can find one that you like, you can find an approach or a technique of your preference, and then stick with that one. Now, what is mindfulness meditation? I guess I should, start out with that fresh here, because some of you who are watching this on the replay, who just have come across this video may not know. So mindfulness meditation, we have two words clearly. Mindfulness is going to be to bear something in mind, or to remember, or to recall. And then meditation means to become familiar with. So what we're doing is we're using this process of mindfulness, bringing something to mind and allowing the focus of awareness to rest there without becoming distracted. So we're bearing in mind, we're actively remembering this tool that we're going to call our object of focus, or our object of attention. We're resting the focus of attention on one thing. One of the most gentle and easiest ways is going to be mindfulness of breathing via the Theravada method. And you can just search for mindfulness of breathing here on the Higher Alignment YouTube channel, and you will come across that guided practice. Hello, Asir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, mindfulness meditation. So we're using the practice of mindfulness in order to become familiar with more increasingly subtle states of mind. So it's really going to take you a little bit of practice to kind of get familiar with that. But what I really just want to focus on here is how you can use mindfulness meditation for liberation from thoughts. And this is actually really one of the main uses for this, traditionally one of the main uses for mindfulness meditation. It is to allow you to calm down the body mind system, to calm down so that you can actually see the inner workings of the mind. But also, mindfulness meditation, it is a practice that we can call shamatha, and that's going to be SHAMATHA. And this is the ability to sustain this focused awareness without becoming distracted. So, a lot of us know when you begin practicing meditation, you may have other thoughts that come into your mind. You may have emotions that come up. You may have physical sensations in the actual body that come up, and these are things that distract us from that object of attention. So say you're practicing mindfulness of breathing via the Theravada method, and here the object of attention is the sensations of the breath at the nostrils. So say you're focusing here and you begin to get distracted by these thoughts or these memories or these emotions and different things that are coming up. The objective is for you to realize, okay, I'm becoming distracted. The focus of my awareness is no longer on the sensations of my breath. Instead of that, I'm thinking about what somebody said to me earlier, or why I'm mad about this, or, any old thing, the things that I didn't get done on my to-do list or my grocery list for tomorrow, or just, the mind will begin to wander. And the thing is, a lot of people, when they're practicing mindfulness meditation, they don't realize that their mind has wandered, and then they just are lost. And this is how most people live their life. They're not being mindful. But anyway, let's bring it back around. I'm just trying to give you the lowdown on the technique really quickly, so when I go into this part, it will make more sense. So eventually, when you are able to be proficient in mindfulness meditation, the mind does not become distracted. So in this place of mindfulness and in this space of mind, in this state of mind, in this state of consciousness, we could call it, there's no conceptualization that comes up. Okay, Tiffany said really clear. I'm glad. So if I say something, if I lose you, let me know. Drop it in the comment section or the comment section, and I'll answer. But when you're in that state of mind, there is no conceptualization. So there's no. I'm gonna explain this a few ways. When I say no conceptualization, this means that we're not thinking in the way that you're thinking now. So even when the focus of awareness is resting on the sensations of the breath at the nostrils, there's no thinking. There's no like, oh, I need to inhale now, or exhaling. I'm inhaling and exhaling. All of the words and all of the thinking about the process and all of that, that's not there. Remember, the instructions are to rest with the sensations of the breath at the nostril. So there's just this bare primordial focus, this bare attention that is there. And there's just this, what we could call a pure knowing. Just a knowing, not an intellectualization. There's no intellectualization or conceptualization going on. There's just knowing happening, okay? So when this happens, you'll notice that thoughts come up in the space of the mind. Say you're in that place and you're able to just observe the space of the mind. So by this time, thoughts will come up in the space of the mind, but since you're not becoming distracted, you're not grasping onto those thoughts. Like when you're not doing this type of practice, typically when a thought comes up, you participate in the thought. You engage in the thought. You grasp onto the thought. And that allows that narrative to continue. That allows the mind to continue that storyline. And as that storyline continues, it will get bigger, it will get more complicated. That becomes the focus of your attention, and it sticks with you. That's how thoughts, in a way, become beliefs. Those thoughts become really enticing. They become really enticing. But here, we don't want to be enticed by the thoughts. We don't want to be enticed by the thoughts. So say you have reached this place of meditative equipoise, you're in there, you're meditating, you're in that undistracted place. thoughts come up, and because you're observing, because there is knowing but not intellectualization going on, there's no grasping. So because there's no grasping, that storyline doesn't continue, and you'll notice the thoughts self-liberate. So in another way, think about this. If you practice meditation before, you notice that a lot of the thoughts come up. That as soon as you sit down and start being quiet and you're like, oh, I'm going to meditate, it seems like all of them come up out of nowhere. And people get distracted by this. They get frustrated. They get anxious by this. But putting those emotions aside for a moment, let's just look at what's actually happening and what the and what that means. All of the thoughts are coming up. There's a lot of thoughts coming up. There are a lot of thoughts that are coming up and immediately replacing other thoughts. So you have this barrage of thoughts. But sorry, it's the tea, y'all. If you think about that, then that means none of the thoughts are actually lasting. They're not lasting very long. You know, the individual thoughts themselves, they come up, they disappear, and then another one comes up, it disappears, and another one comes up, and it disappears, and you think about something else, and the mind is hopping all over the place. It's hopping from place to place to place. So even in that, we can see that the thoughts are going to come up, but they will disappear on their own. You don't have to do anything but don't engage with them. So what we can do is, when we go into meditative equipoise, if you've practiced meditation for a while, when a thought comes up, what you want to do is observe that thought, observe that belief, and it may be one of those negative limiting beliefs that you have already identified, or you can purposely bring up that negative limiting belief. Get really in the zone in your meditation and purposely bring up that thought. Purposely bring up the image of that person who's bothering you. Purposely bring up that situation. Purposely make it come up in your mind. But you don't want to engage with it. You just want to observe it. Observe it without commentary. Observe it without reacting. Just observe. And you will notice that the thought is there. And if you don't engage with it, it disappears. And you can do this you'll need to do this for a while. You'll need to try this technique for a while. You'll bring it up, observe it, watch it disappear. Bring it up, observe it, watch it disappear. Bring it up, observe it, watch it disappear. And you're just observing. Once again, you're not making comments about it. You're not even trying to, once again, intellectualize or rationalize what's happening. You don't want to do that. Because when you do that, once again, you are engaging with the narrative, and we're not trying to engage with the narrative. We're just trying to bring it up and show and get the experience of it, the realization of that. If I do not engage with it, it won't cause me suffering and it will disappear. And not only will you need to do this multiple times during that session, you will need to do multiple sessions of that. But after a while, yes, Tiffany, exactly, you're retraining the brain. The brain will become less reactive and less responsive to those negative limiting beliefs. And then what this means is, off the cushion, you will say you've done this for 2 or 3 weeks. Off the cushion, say that emotion comes up, say that thought comes up, that belief comes up, and normally before you wouldn't even have realized that it came up, you would just begin reacting and responding to that thought. Now, since you've slowed down so much and you've practiced watching it come up and releasing it, when it comes up and you're not on the cushion, instead of responding and reacting to it immediately and engaging in those negative patterns of behavior, perhaps that brought you to this masterclass series or brought you to this workshop, it will allow you to have some space, a gap, in order to contemplate and to reason with yourself. And you'll say, you know what? I've been here before, and I know right now I have a choice. Right now, I have a choice of engaging and entertaining that negative limiting belief that if you've gone through the activities through days 1 through 4, you already know that this is not serving you. You already know that if you've done days 1 through 4. So in that part of your mind, you know that, okay, this is not, it's not going to help me. It's not going to lead me towards harmony or harmonious conditions if I engage in that thought, or if I react or respond to that thought. So now you're going to do the same thing off the cushion. You're watching, you're observing, and now there may be emotional content, there may be physical sensations that come along with the thought. So when I'm talking about thoughts and beliefs, really I'm talking about all of this. I'm not just talking about what we think about in the West as a thought, as like this mental phenomena only, but I'm also considering thoughts to be emotions. So an emotional sensation, or also physical sensations, because when you have a thought, a very strong thought, a very strong belief, there may be some there may be some emotional and physical energy that manifests along with that thought. And you want to treat those manifestations and those phenomena exactly the same as the mental thought. You want to observe it, but don't engage with it, and you'll find that it naturally disappears. And you may not get it on the first time, because it's a pretty tough skill, but you'll learn that it's a tough skill if you don't practice mindfulness meditation. If you're practicing mindfulness meditation twice a day, 20 minutes a day, I would advise that you use that mindfulness of breathing guided meditation video here from the Higher Alignment YouTube channel. Use that 20 minutes a day, twice a day. Meditate with that in the morning, meditate with that in the evening. You are going to feel immediate relief just from the portion of the meditation where you're learning to relax the body and release those stressful physical tension and emotional tension and mental tension. But it's mindfulness meditation is also teaching you a skill of observation without engagement, observation without attachment or without aversion or pushing something away, allowing it just to be and allowing it to self-liberate. It's a muscle worth, Tiffany says, it's a muscle worth investing in. The return on the retraining will be exponential. Exactly. And I know I talk a lot about mindfulness meditation here on Higher Alignment, and I'm going to continue to do so because I really do think that it is a wonderful tool. But I'm going to be honest, I know that there are a lot of people who are not engaging in mindfulness meditation, or they're just not, it's not their thing. And that's perfectly okay if it's not your thing. It's perfectly okay. But y'all, you really need to learn this tool. This one tool will completely change your life. And no, it's not the same thing as doing active imagination. No, it's not the same thing as doing the journaling prompts that we do here in the self-exploration. No, it's not even the same thing as guided visualizations that we go through, or EFT tapping, because those tools are more exciting for the brain. Those tools are more exciting for the brain. So people, I find, like to engage in those activities more, and they find that mindfulness meditation is quite boring. Well, it is, because you're learning to calm, you're learning to settle. But a lot of you all don't know how to calm and don't know how to be calm and don't know how to be settled. So that is a tool that you definitely want to learn to use, okay? So that's how you can use mindfulness meditation as a tool to release and transform negative limiting beliefs. You're literally getting into that state of mind, getting into that state of consciousness, and using that as your training ground, and purposely bringing up the things that are bothering you or the things that aren't working, and learning to let those things naturally liberate. It's a very natural and even though mindfulness meditation can be a little bit difficult, it's a very easy practice. It's a very simple practice. That's what I want to say. It's a very simple practice to engage in. And it should be, hopefully you understand how it works and why it works. The practice itself is not complicated. It's very simple, but simple does not always mean easy, okay? And what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and go on to another exercise. So if you have, let me see, if you have the workbook, what I want you to do is go ahead and turn to page 20, and you're going to see that there's an activity here for changing beliefs. We're not going to go through this one, we're going to go through the next one, but I just want to let you know that it is here and give you a little overview about it. So it says on page 20, is that what I said before? Yeah, let's turn down to page 20. Changing beliefs. In days 1 through 4, you've identified many negative limiting beliefs about yourself and various experiences that you have had in life. Use this exercise to address and change any of them. Imagine your belief is like a tabletop, and the legs of the table are the evidence that support this belief. Just like with the table, if you knock enough legs out from under it, the belief will collapse. You do this by creating doubt about your evidence or looking at it in a different way. After you collapse the limiting, negative, and disempowering belief, use the same method to create a new one. You can create a belief that is more empowering by finding evidence that supports and maintains your new belief. At Add at least 3 legs and the table will stand. When we hold limiting beliefs, they hold us back from our potential. The key is to question the evidence we use to support it, remove the support, find a new one, and find a new one with more find a new, more empowering belief to replace it with. So essentially, what you're going to be doing, and you'll see that there are 6 steps that this is going to guide you through. And so, like for example, the first one, review the material from days 1 through 4 and select a limiting belief you'd like to work with. In one sentence, what is that limiting belief? And you can even do that now for the in session activity that we're going to do. Go ahead and review, whatever you've written for days. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you'll have days 1 and 2. If you have the Masterclass Series, or if you have the Workbook, then review all of the information for days 1 through 4. And go ahead and identify that limiting belief. Take a few moments, identify what that is, and write it in one sentence. So then once you do that, you'll go ahead and just continue on with questions 2 through 6. And this is going to guide you through that process of identifying the legs, the sub beliefs that we could say that support the overall belief, the evidence that you are using from your life experience. Is going to ask you questions about your life experiences. You're going to gather all of that, and you're going to identify what those are, and then you're going to create doubt in those. You're going to then use that doubt, use what you find out to transform that limiting belief into an empowering belief, and then you're going to go through the same process, and you're going to then discover new pieces of evidence from your life experience that already exists. So nothing that you're making up. You're actually going to go through your life and find reasons and find evidence that support the empowering belief, and you're going to be able to switch things around that way. But what I want you to do is go ahead and turn to page 22. And on page 22, we have a activity called Uncovering the Truth, a self-talk activity. And I am going to include the link for the free exercise as well in the description box, so you have that. Okay, so in the description box you should have the link to the free activity. We're going to be going through that one. You're going to have the link to the workbook if you want to get the workbook, so you can have the other activities as well, all of your daily reading material, self-exploration prompts, activities, the link to the inner child work meditation and inner child work activities that we did for the day on identifying limiting beliefs and accepting and giving love. So you'll have all of that. But what I want you to do is go ahead and turn to page, what did I say? Page 22. So let me read a little bit from here. You'll need a pen, pencil, and one sheet of paper for each limiting belief that you want to work with. I would advise starting with a few beliefs and then coming back later on to work with more. So right now, just work with the one. Hopefully you've already identified that. I've asked you to do that at the beginning of this workshop. I told you all to come with it if you were on my email list, and I talked about it on the other days, and I brought it up a few minutes ago for the first exercise of the other transformation activity that's in the workbook. So hopefully you should have your limiting belief that you want to work with. So right now, just start with one. Then after you do it, you can add on more if you want. But even just starting with the one and using that one for a while will serve you well. So using your pencil at the top of your paper, you're going to write your limiting belief. So say you have your paper at the top where you would normally head it, right there in the center in pencil, you're going to write your negative limiting belief. In pen underneath it, you're going to write at least 7 lines of evidence that disproves that limiting belief and that support a new empowering belief. The evidence could be the opposite of your limiting belief, or it could be simply something nicer. Reach for the highest level, self-affirming and empowering belief you can find. So let me give you some tips for this step. You want to choose a belief, or you want to choose evidence that's believable. You don't want to just be writing something down and it's not believable to your mind. So if what you wrote at the top of the paper was, I am so broke. You always tell yourself, I'm broke, I don't have no money, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything. You wrote, I'm broke at the top of your paper. And you know that your overall goal is you're leaning in the direction of financial abundance, financial freedom. Please, on the lines up underneath it, do not write, I am a millionaire or I am a billionaire, because your chances are you're not. If you're writing I'm broke at the top of your paper, if that was the negative limiting belief you started with, and it's going to be very difficult for your mind to accept that piece of evidence as justification on why you should no longer be engaging and entertaining the limiting belief at the top of your paper. You know, that's going to be foolish, so don't do that. What you want to do is you want to reach for a belief that is kind of on the cusp of your belief system. It's just at the edge of your comfort zone. So it's a belief that stretches you, but it's a belief that you can believe. So you can write, I am appreciative for every dollar that I have. I'm appreciative for every dollar I've ever had, and I'm appreciative for every dollar that I have. You can write, the money that I have allows me to pay my bills and support myself. Those are true beliefs. Those are true beliefs that are leaning in the direction where you want to go, that are leaning in the direction of harmony, harmonious conditions, and alignment with your overall goal, and a more empowering belief and belief system that's going to help you achieve that financial abundance and that financial freedom. But you're not flat out lying to yourself and saying something that is just not believable at all. Okay? So that's what you want to do. Let's read the other note. Make sure your new empowering belief is written as a positive statement. Do not use the word not or no or isn't or don't. For example, if your limiting belief was, I am stupid, your empowering belief would not be, I am not stupid. It would be, I am intelligent. I know how to do many things. Okay? Then, step 3. For the next 7 days, you're going to read all of the items in pen. You're going to reread all of the items in pen. And then step 4 is on the 4th day, you're going to erase the limiting belief that you wrote in pencil at the top of the page, and you're going to leave only the empowering beliefs that you have begun to reprogram your mind with, that you've been using to reprogram your mind. You've been putting that evidence in front of your eyes and thinking about it and contemplating it. And if you've been doing this every day, it should be sinking in. It should be marinating in your mind, and this should be creating doubt in the belief that you are trying to get rid of, and it should be supporting the new empowering belief that you're trying to, this new program that you're installing in your mind. So that is going to be the activity that you will go through. So it's pretty simple. Hopefully that's achievable for you all. So remember, on Friday, we're going to do day 6. And this is a day that I have previously not done inside of the Limiting Beliefs Masterclass series. And this is going to be for people who have gotten the workbook, or who have enrolled in the actual Masterclass series. An hour before we're going to begin, so at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, I'm going to send everyone an email. I'm going to collect the email addresses of those who have gotten the workbook or enrolled in the masterclass series. And what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you some metaphysical and mystical tools. I'm going to teach you about crystals and crystal gritting. We're going to talk about dream work. There are a few more activities that I'm going to introduce to you as well. We're going to talk about EFT, how you can use EFT to help you along with this journey in various ways. And I'm going to just, sometimes I do these workshops where it's like, I have like 5 reasons why, or 10 reasons why, or 10 tips how. I'm going to do that. And each little tip, each little point that I have is going to be an entire technique in itself. And I'm going to kind of just roll through them because I want to be able to present them in their entirety, and I want to give them to you in a way that you'll be able to, really use them. I know different people are interested in different things, especially people who are interested in metaphysics. We all have our own little areas that we find more in alignment with our life and our lifestyle. So that's why I'm going to present a variety of techniques. So you can choose the one that you want to work with. If you like dream work and lucid dreaming, we're definitely going to talk about that. I love dream work and lucid dreaming, and I've actually used the lucid dream in order to break patterns of behavior, in order to break negative limiting beliefs. And I'm going to show you and tell you exactly how I did it so you can replicate that and do that. I love EFT. I love crystal. Shout out to you all who are going to be here on Saturday. Well, be on Instagram Live on Saturday for the live sale. I'm going to have tons of crystal jewelry. You can check out higheralignment.com for my current stock. Any order over $50, you can split into 4 interest-free equal installments. And the first one isn't even due for 2 weeks. So you could order something, get your items, and not even a dime has left your bank account. And I know a lot of you have gotten a lot of crystal jewelry from me, and even crystals when I used to sell crystals. I don't do that anymore. I just do the jewelry. I just sell the jewelry now. But we haven't really talked about how to work with those tools, our different ways to engage with those tools. So that is what I'm going to be going through on Friday in that private Zoom workshop. And that workshop will also be uploaded into the online school, into the Limiting Beliefs Masterclass series, okay? Okay, Tiffany said temptation, but you'll be there. Perfect. I can't wait to see you. So that's all that I have for you this evening. Use the tools, use mindfulness meditation. Learn to be proficient in that technique, you all. It's going to serve you so much. Oh my goodness. Check out the mindfulness meditation playlist, the mindfulness meditation series here on Higher Alignment. You have the freebie exercise. We went through it. I showed you exactly how to do it. You can grab the actual written instructions from the description box below. I'm gonna make sure I remember to update all of that information. And then you have an additional activity inside of the actual workbook. And then once again on Friday, we're going to go through another few activities. So if you have the workbook or if you're enrolled in the Masterclass Series, you will have those additional activities as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. If you all have any questions, you know how to find me. Send me a message, a DM on Instagram. That's gonna be the quickest way, and I will be sure to get back to you. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and hopefully, I will see all of you on Friday. Have a good one.